So what's good, everybody? It's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats or Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. DJ Fanatic is DJ PHANATIC, then Beats. Today in this video, I'm doing a beat breakdown. Hopefully it inspires you or show you like some tips or tricks that I used in this particular beat. This beat went crazy. There's so many plays, so much love from the producer community with it. People buying the music, and definitely I'm grateful, anytime somebody supports my dream of making music. And also, it's dope to hear love from your fellow producers saying, yo, that's beat's crazy. It's like a more, I wouldn't say old school hip-hop beat, but I could definitely hear like Eminem or Joyner Lucas. It has this dark feel about it. Of course a bunch of other rappers, but I don't like to just throw out names like that, because you kind of limit yourself on who you can hear on it sometimes. And sometimes other people can hear other artists on it that you can't. So anyway, let me break down every element, and that way you get to kind of vibe out and hear how I came about making this beat that has, I don't know, it has to be over 1,000 plays already, and it's not even that old yet. So anyway, I started out with a simple loop. It's like a piano loop, and I'll play that. So basically I let that repeat, and at the end of every 8 bars I did a reversal, I think. Usually with like little loops like that, I'll do something fancy at the end. You can do your own thing. You can chop this all the way up and then switch them around. Of course you can do effects on individual slices. You can get very creative with just one loop, and I'll show you some things that I did with this one. Pay attention to the end here. So with that, I don't know if I reversed it. Yeah, basically I cloned the same loop into another, and then I hit reverse here. Now be careful, because what I did, I did pitch this loop up. And also when you clone it, it clones the exact settings that you did. So once you're happy with the original sound, then you clone it. Don't because then you have to copy the values and make sure everything's straight. It's just easier the other way. So it's a little trick that you can do with loops. And also what I did with this particular loop, in the mixer channel I added gross beat, which you can do some crazy stuff with. Which preset did I use? Looks like I was just experimenting with stuff. I used the basic, so it's a little jitter at the end, and I bring down the mix level to 80%, and I use basic too, and I also use the gate. So let me actually play the loop without any of these effects. And you can tell the piano loop already has like a lot going on, but I wanted to make it unique. So the first thing I usually do is pitch it. So I pitched it up a couple notches or whatever. I don't know what the setting is. Let's just copy the value. So it looks like around 200 cents, which is 2 semitones. So hopefully I didn't mess the whole beat up. Cool. So that's the loop. Already has a lot going on. For some reason I panned it to the left. See what I do, I get really creative with loops, so I'll just keep going crazy until I come up with something that I like. Of course I EQ'd it. That's the first thing I do in the effects chain. I cut out the frequencies that I didn't want. So cut out the lows and cut out the highs, obviously, and turn on gross beat. Found a preset that I wanted, messed around with the parameters. See, it has more of a bounce because of this gating, one beat gate, and also that little jitter at the end because of the basic 2 pardon me, the basic 2 stutter. So next, what else did I do? And added reverb to give it kind of some space. Yeah, that sounds crazy. So the space actually gives it that eeriness sound. So already the beat is taking you're adding that color to it already in the beginning. So next, let's find out, what did I add? Track 2 was obviously the reverse piano. I tend to mix them differently just to give it a different feel. Track 3 is the next thing I added, was a lead. So I added the lead to the piano. And what's cool about that, I found a really cool piano in arcade, and then I just kind of used that little quick little, it's like this background piano, but I only use small, basically it's a loop based sampler, and you can find some cool stuff in there, but what I use it tastefully. I use it very subtly and like in the background, and you can just add to your beats that way, and you just don't need the exact same thing. You can even play this, so it's like a really light piano in the background. So the next thing I added was the snare, so I went straight to the drums. I was already happy with those elements, and they're just two, it's the same instrument really. It's a piano, two different pianos doing two different things. So what I added next was another layer of piano. So you got 3 pianos. So this one's doing a different melody. So the next item that I added, sound selection. My bad, excuse me. I believe it's a snare. Let's find out. That's pattern 3. So let's see what we added. No, more piano. So obviously this beat is heavily based on the piano. I guess I was in my Beethoven mode, but I added that really low note at the bottom, and it just kind of gave it that creepiness, that darkness, and it adds a lot to it, just that one note. So notice it's just one note going all the way through. So because everything else is moving so much, I just wanted to add that little, note in there for coloration. So the next thing was, let's see what we added here, because I am like all over the place. It may be a lead finally, because I think I put all the pianos in one track. Let's see. Got piano 1, 2, 3. So this looks like a lead I made in Contact. So this is the next thing I added. So I had all that going on with the piano, and I wanted something totally different to just kind of sit over top of it, and it has like this eerie lead to it, and it's like a very shrill string, if you will, and thought it fit well with the other sounds. And sound selection is vital, man. You don't want to like have just things, trap drums with, I don't know, R&B. Well, they do that now. Just be mindful of the things you choose, because it's hard for people to relate when things are just totally opposite. But on an artistic stance, if it's just for you, have at it, make whatever you want. But if you want to sell some music, keep in mind your sound selection. That's important. So these are the notes if you wanted to see them. Here I'll play the pattern again. It doesn't look like much, but that's the melody that was in my head. So make sure you listen to what's in your mind or whatever, because you don't want to sacrifice the music. Always like interpret what's in your head. Don't let the DAW or whatever control you. You're the creative. So next I was like, I'm happy with all that. Let's get to the drums. So obviously these drum snares are insane. There's two different snares, and I layered them, and I also put one kind of behind each other, so that's why they sound like they're lagging and they're a little off the grid, I believe. You can do that with anything really. See how it's shifted here? You go to wrench tool and you shift to take it off the grid a little bit. And I wanted to give it like this little slow, like offbeat feel, and kind of just give it a little groove. So of course, you know, the swing levels up a little bit, but also swing individual sounds differently, especially if I have more than one snare. And I kind of wanted a layered sound with this beat. Next I added was, I think the kick is insane, so watch your headphones. So you hear it coming together. Notice there's two different patterns for the kick pattern. You can do up to 3, 4, whatever. Not too crazy, because you kind of want to loop in your listener and you don't want to lose them. It depends on the type of beat that you're making, but there's just two different patterns here, goes throughout the beat. And that kick, I think I did some craziness to it. I usually do. I EQ just a little bit in the 213 hertz and sound goodizer to bring out basically it's compression. So, and then I added the hi-hat patterns. Check it out. And notice, you know, there's a lot going on with the hi-hats. They're very busy to give the track some energy, and also did some hi-hat rolls with the same sound. So I think these are triplets. No, but also the velocity is different, the pitch is different. Play around with hi-hats, man. You can, and notice that all the velocities go up and down, so there's a lot of movement with the hi-hats. And I think this is another hi-hat, pattern 10. It's a percussion sound, so check it out. Dope. And that's on the end of the beat. Dun dun dun, and so, and this actually is a hit. It's really low. It's like a, yeah, I'll play it by itself. It's like an orchestral hit, so it definitely just gives it more energy, more darkness, more power on every 4 bars, or 8, I believe. And also the next thing I added, let's turn that off. I think the last thing I added was the 808, so I'm gonna let you hear that. So at 808, nothing too crazy, mostly octave jumps, and I used some bending. Let's see what I did. Yeah, mono porta slide. So I used some 808 slides for this one, just to kind of give it a little rumble, movement, excuse me. And I used a cavitator for effects, for a little distortion, and sidechained it to the kick. And looks like I cut off the highs a little bit. I could have went a little more aggressive with this 808, but you know, it's present. And this little option here, I think it's a little vocal chant right before the chorus comes in. Let's see what happens. Yeah, got somebody yelling go, I think, so that way it kind of stands out. So I'm gonna play the intro into the chorus and a little bit of the verse, so you get the feel of the beat, and it actually came out pretty dope. And did some movement throughout, you know, during the verses, and took out stuff, added stuff. And of course, actually looks like I just did a fade out here. And for mastering wise, I think it's just Neutron 2 and Ozone 8 and tonal balance control. They're a little advanced for mastering. You know, basically my mastering chain is that right now. There's more simplistic ways of doing it. There's tons of ways, whatever works for you. It looks like in this particular beat, I did a drum mix. So I sent all my drums to one channel and also used Sausage Fattener to compress it and the sounds as well. Sometimes I do that to make things sound a little more cohesive and just have a harder punch. It depends on the sounds you choose and the type of beat. It doesn't always work, but I tend to try that, and it actually worked for this beat. Obviously it did, because, you know, it's getting mad plays and mad love and mad sales, so that worked. What else? Man, I don't know. That's pretty much it. For the mastering, I mean, I turned off the mastering plugins because I'm recording this video and I don't want to like have the whole video stuttering throughout. But anyway, I use Track Assist and it gives you suggested ideas. Usually I just do a light compression, and I normally don't go over mastering in these videos, so I definitely give you a little bit of something here. So I take out stuff that I think is totally unnecessary. Usually it's pretty good, but I only do light compression. This is a multi-band compressor, and I'll keep the attack and release the same. It's pretty good with that judging, but I always use the clean mode to have like a really light. If you highlight over it, let me see, sets the neutrino mode. I think that's what it says. I got my glasses on. So basically clean, in a program it'll tell you these are based on certain instruments or whatever. Clean is just a really light compression, and it's barely there, but it's present, man. I wish I could hit play so you can hear the big difference. And this is a full compressor over the whole frequency band. I just use light compression throughout the mastering process. That way at the end of it, it has a nice bright sound and balanced sound. The exciter is dope too, because sometimes when I take it out and bypass it and listen to it, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So you don't need this to actually make your beat sound dope. There's another way you can use, is the Fruity Balance Control and also Fruity Soft Clipper. Mess around with those on your mastering chain, or even what's the other one, Maximizer, Fruity Maximizer, because these plugins are a little advanced and confusing for everybody, but you can use Maximus, and you know, it has a lot of cool presets. You know, go in there and try those, max loudness, whatever, and then go through each channel and learn about it. You know, there's tons of videos on it. I used to use this a lot. I just, you know, after I learned this, I could upgrade to certain things and I have more control over my sound. So, but start and master this stuff. Master every plugin you get that's in your program. I mean, I was the lazy one that wanted to buy everything and not know what the hell I was doing. So don't be that person spending all your money and not knowing what you have is very powerful in itself, because you got designers that make that stuff and you can use those tools. You know, you're like a karate master. You know, you learn how to wax on, wax off, and you become like a master at blocking things. Whatever. It was old school Karate Kid. So utilize with what you have, because you can come a master with it and then progress to something else if it serves you and your music. So let me hit play and stop talking, and hopefully I taught you something in this video, and hopefully you're feeling the vibes. 808's crazy. There you go. There you have it. I noticed in some places the loop actually almost sounds like it's a little ahead of the beat, or either the snare is a little too far back. And I remember having some trouble with that, but you know, it's just hit or miss. You just keep working on it until it feels right. And I guess it felt right to me at the time, but listening to it again, you're like, yeah, that's a little off. I mean, maybe it's me, I don't know. But hopefully you enjoyed the video, hopefully you enjoyed the beat, and hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you're inspired to make something dope right now, right after this video. Again, it's DJ Fanatic Beats, content contributor for LiveOffBeats.com. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Fanatic Beats, or Sounds for Producers on Instagram as well. Peace and love. Check you out next video.